And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, angels and demons, and monsters and serpents. This is Brothers of the Serpent Podcast, and we are coming to you live, hopefully, from the 10x10x10 Tangent Cube of Science, where we are nestled amongst the dusty bones of an ancient seabed high atop the Everest Plateau. So we are trying a new streaming platform, and it's going normal for SnakeBros.
I don't know how to connect it to. Hey, look, there's everyone.
There, people are showing up. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, normally I would set up a pre-scheduled show, and then we would connect to that. But we don't know how to do that with this new software. So anyway, welcome.
Classic zero mistakes.
Yeah, zero mistakes.
Earlier we were like, well, let's just see if it actually goes live. We clicked it.
It did.
And I was like, yeah, that went live.
Yeah, it went live for 30 minutes of us going.
30 seconds. Yeah.
30 seconds. We're like, is it recording? I'm not sure.
So we got to tell all these people over here to move because it's not on this.
Not 2 p.m. GMT, bro. 2 p.m. Central. 2 p.m. Central.
Anyways, cheers, everybody.
Yeah, cheers. So, Ben and I went to Peru with Professor Shy to scout for touring down there, and we spent 10 days. I think it was like 10 days.
That's a cool shirt.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah, for this Peruvian style shirt.
Yeah, dude.
Our buddy Rogelio, who is going to be our local guide. He's like the Peruvian Yousef. Awesome.
Oh,
okay. Knows people everywhere, has lived there his entire life, was raised in Ollantaytambo, So he's awesome. He plays the flute. He was like, if you bring instruments, I will play flute. We're like,
excellent.
this is weird. So yeah, we traveled all over the country. First thing I'll say is like you land in Lima, which is like right at sea level. Nice and warm. It's like being in Florida, And I landed.
Turn up the volume.
Ben and Matt were already half in the tank because they had been at the bar waiting for my plane to get there. And but then the next day we woke up and we flew to Cusco, which is at 10,000 feet of elevation. Ooh, man, that was tough. Didn't get altitude sickness, but I tell you what. You're like, I felt like I had experience in being out of breath because I've been a smoker for so long. So everywhere we went, I was out of breath. I'm like, this just feels normal. But it was pretty crazy. Like, those first couple of days, you couldn't get enough oxygen. Just walking, just standing up. Your hands, your fingertips would get tingly and stuff. But yeah, it was fun getting acclimatized to the high altitude, and eventually we did. I mean, we went when we went to Ollantaytambo. We went on an 11-mile hike through the mountains. Like it's basically straight up.
Damn.
To go see the quarry, right? Which I'll get to that. We'll get to that later. But I have a whole bunch of stuff to share. There's so many amazing things in this place. And it was, and of course we've been looking at pictures and video of it for years, and it was excellent to finally go there and see it myself. And I think it's gonna be fun running tours through there. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, which hopefully we'll be doing one this year. So look out for information on that. So along with the new tour, Kyle and I are trying out a whole bunch of new stuff here. I have a computer, like an actual PC that I know how to run, set up like it's right here with a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to be trying to share some of the, the video and the footage that I took while we were there. There's one place I want to talk about, like all through Cusco. You guys probably know this, but all throughout Cusco, there is tons of ancient stonework combined with colonial stuff, Spanish stonework, and then modern, architecture. And the question is what of the pre-colonial stonework is Inca, and is there anything before? Is there stuff older than Inca? And it's crazy because Cusco is it's everywhere you go. There's 4 or 5 different kinds of stuff of architecture all mixed together and stacked on top of each other. But there's one place, it's like the Inca Rose Palace, Roca Palace. I'm going to show a few things from this place. It's interesting because like when you're in the Coricancha, there's a specific kind of stonework that, like when Luke was here talking to us, he called it like Inca Imperial.
Check.
Is there a problem?
Yeah,
Check, 1, 2.
I think I need to turn these inserts on, which basically makes the headphones like pointless.
Okay, we can take them off.
Because people are complaining that it's not loud enough.
Oh.
Um,
Oh, they're firing you. I see that.
Am I getting fired?
Yeah, Kyle's fired, it said.
Well, the other thing that's weird about this is it doesn't keep up with the chat. It just stays there.
Ah.
So.
Well, hopefully they'll fix that.
Maybe we're going to fire Riverside.
We might have to fire Riverside, yeah.
But these are pointless.
Okay. I will take them off.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that if I have the inserts on, it's doing more. Oh,
some inside baseball here, folks. So not only are we trying some new software, but Kyle's got a new audio setup, and all of it has to work seamlessly together. So of course we decided for the first time ever to try it live on YouTube. It's great. It's perfect. SnakeBros, classic. Either way, the video will eventually come out and it'll be good, and the audio will be good.
People are saying it's plenty loud. Okay, see, Kyle is loud now. I turned the insert on, and that put the
no problem
compression settings through the pipeline to the live, and yeah.
No
so
worries.
Russ is a bit quieter, but he should be loud now. He should match my volume at this point.
No worries.
And got some jams. No. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
So
stupid.
Well, I guess let me show some Coricancha stuff and some other just real quick so we can get an idea of what we're talking about here. Let's see.
Yeah, sounds even. All right, cool. I wish it would the chat in Riverside doesn't stay up to date. Like it doesn't scroll.
Doesn't
as you
scroll
guys type,
down.
so I have to
that's
manually scroll it. That's just
terrible.
Completely useless.
Yeah.
I can't use it.
That's terrible.
Maybe we will fire Riverside just because of that. So I need to go to the other one.
Well, I'm going to share this real quick.
See, if I click on this, it's going to be noisy. Mute. Okay. Now we can watch this chat.
Okay, but yeah, I don't know. Is this being shared? Can't tell.
What? Oh, I don't know yet. I'm trying to get our chat. Yeah, it is.
There
Look
it is.
at it.
Okay, so this is outside the Coricancha in Peru. This is actually not the best photo, but you can see the stonework style. So the Coricancha here is on the right, and there's another building here to the left. So you can see it's basically the same style of stonework, right? But a couple things you notice immediately, like this stonework is excellent, but it's very regular layers. For the most part, there's some places like here where something interesting happens, but for the most part, it's, very regular layers, not sort of like all different sizes. But on the other hand, the blocks will, the layering is sort of whimsical, right? The way the blocks fit together is not like a brick. Let's see if I have, again, you just see this stonework all throughout Cusco, right? just everywhere. And when
It's
you
so beautiful. I
when
love
you
it.
yeah, and when you get close to it, let's see if I can find a good example. When you get close to it, like here, well, that's in the Coricancha. Let's see. Yeah, here. I'm showing some video here. Let's see if I can
Wait, I don't
share
see it.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna share it. Gotta share it from Riverside. Let's see. I may need to share my entire screen to make this easier.
Yeah. Don't worry. While you're over there doing stuff, I'm over here doing stuff too.
Oh,
Whoa!
look at that. There we go. Okay.
So what is that? Option.
So you can watch this. You see here as I'm just moving past all of these little tiny shifts in the level of the layers, like this one right here, and this is like I'm putting my finger up there for scale, right? So that really is like, what is it, freaking a 1/4 inch, maybe an 1/8 of an inch. They've just changed the level of the layer there, and this is just everywhere you look, you see this in the stonework. There's one. There's one.
Now, is that just granite? Sort of like a hammered
It's like a
granite surface?
Yeah, or andesite. It's some kind of volcanic material,
Okay.
you know. Andesite, right? Andes stone.
Oh, okay. That makes wow.
I'm pretty sure that's what it means. But look at this. Look at this particular join. You know, why is it?
Why is it Y?
Yes, why does it have a Y shape? Exactly. You know, it's like they didn't really. And then here, like going across here, it drops down like a tiny amount, and then over here, and then it drops down again. This just minuscule amount here. So it's, as you go through, you see it's like they didn't really care. You know, they were like, we're gonna make consistent rows of stone, but whether it goes up or down, like whether that block actually matches the exact level of the one before it when you're putting them down, doesn't really matter. It's almost like they vibrated them into place.
That's what I'm
This
saying.
is why
dude.
people think stone softening. And the longer we walked around in Cusco, the more I understood, you know, like not so much geopolymer, but like softening the stone, you know, because you're looking at it, and you're like, how does this even make sense from a construction standpoint, unless the stone was far more malleable than we expect it to be. You know what I mean?
I really am. I think that it's possible that, I mean, it has the characteristics of something being vibrated together. In other words, the vibrations themselves are doing the grinding action that's making the joints fit so well.
Yeah. So people are asking about mortar, animal fat. Okay, so there were a couple of places
With gap fat?
in Cusco. I'm not sure where the photos are, but where you could basically, let me stop the share here so you guys can.
I think I can just, what did that do? Nothing.
Nothing.
I put speaker view, but
Here, I'll stop the share. Right? Did I stop it?
yeah.
Okay, so there were a few places in Cusco where we could see the top of a layer of stones for some distance, right? So instead of just looking at the outside part, like the wall, you could see the top parts, which would have been covered by other stones. And in some cases, a few times we saw that it was only the very front edge that was matched and the back end was open. So there may have been, you know, like Luke said, Peruvian
gap fat.
llama gap fat in there. But for the most part, they were matched all the way through. And we saw a lot of examples of this where even up to extremely large blocks like at Sacsayhuamán were perfectly matched all the way through the thickness of the stones. And that those surfaces were not flat. They were complicated. and they matched with the complicated, like the mirror complicated surface of the stone next to it. It just didn't make any sense as a standard stone cutting technique and construction technique. So I can show some of the best examples of this were at a place called the Inca Rosa Palace. So I can show some of that. Let me share again. Let's see. How do I do this without causing screenception like I did before?
What was that? What do you mean?
Where it extends off into infinity because I'm sharing my entire screen and I only have one monitor.
Who cares?
Okay, here we go, folks.
Cause seizures out there.
Yeah, don't have a seizure. Okay, so let me close this window. There's another seizure. And then we'll go back here. So, okay, so a few more things about the Coricancha. Like you can see here, this is what you would expect from sort of, not primitive, but this is really good stonework. But they're cobbles. They're obvious cobbles. They weren't cut. They're not shaped. They're sort of fit together in a very, like somebody worked really hard on this wall, but it isn't the same as this back here. You see this all the way at the back end. This is a completely different kind of stonework back here. In the back corner. Look at that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so you're looking at this.
That's still really good.
It's really good.
I mean, look at how well those fit together.
Yeah,
too.
and look at the stone types. This is not quarried. It's not cut. They're not carved.
Come on.
I don't think so.
I think those are cut.
You think so?
Or chiseled or chipped.
They might have been chipped.
I mean, look at the angles on those and how flat they fit together.
Yeah.
Like that, somebody really worked on that. Now it's not as good
look
as
at
the other stuff.
Look at this.
Yeah.
That's
limestone.
It's limestone full of holes and they're crystals and embeds and fossils and stuff. Completely different from this is granite back here.
Yeah, I think that this is a really good attempt to make something like that wall in the back there. Like that they were working these stones.
So Cody Edwards in there is saying this is beautiful, but he could do it. This cobblestone work, no problem. I believe you.
All right, you're hired.
Yeah.
I need a wall.
Here's a close up of one of the, see all the, you're not carving that. I mean, with primitive tools, this is not going to be, somebody found this pretty much in this condition and fit it together with the other stones. And then you have these in the corners. It's just, the obvious difference is amazing when you're walking and you come up into this corner, like, holy crap, look at that. But that's all that's left of this. Hold on, let me move forward here. Let's see. There is a whole bunch of stuff like this. Let's see if I can play this one. So yeah, on the left, Colonial, or maybe Inca.
But those
and then on the right, this is the Coricancha. See the glass above it? This is also really cool. That's modern. And it's just right. It's just, they've got some iron or steel braces here and it's holding up this entire glass.
That was all that was left of the wall.
This
and then
is
they
what's
put the
left
glass
of
on
the,
top.
yeah. And then there's some plastered stuff here, concrete and plaster, but this,
that's cool.
This is original. But again, you can see that the layers are consistent, but they're also wobbly, up and down, changing size very slightly. And the blocks themselves are not all square. They're different shapes.
Hey, thanks. AW, $20.
Hey, thank you.
Says, love the SnakeBros. Thank you for all the great adventures. Yeah, appreciate the adventure. Hey, but go back to the other wall. That's definitely worked.
This has been chipped, yeah. You can see it like that is almost like flint that's been chipped.
Yeah, all those mating faces are worked, I think.
I think you're right. And there is some mortar in here, the kind of a kind of mud brick mortar. There were other places where it was completely mud brick. Somebody had made a bunch of mud bricks using straw and like red mud, clay, and then fired them, put them together, and then they would plaster over it. Then the plaster would fall off, and you could see the original mud brick in there, and it was wavy, usually because it would sag and settle, right? So in this,
realness, $20 says, show us the nubs. Show me some nubs. $20. See them nubs.
Trust me, there's plenty of nubs coming up. There's Rojo. Rogelio, our friend and guide in Peru, showing us, just talking about stuff here. Also, the streets were just like somebody put a lot of work into every road.
Yeah.
They're cobbles and they're all they're all decorated, and it's really cool. This whole city is just magical. Let's see. I wanted to show this one. This is inside. This is inside the Coricancha. Look at that.
Yeah, they were like, there's a gap.
Right. Somebody broke the corner.
The inspector came along the wall and was like, there's a gap on line 5.
Yeah.
Column 439. Need to fill it.
Yeah.
Good grief.
And look at the quality of the walls on the inside here. And they have these, this is a very, what would you call it? Like it's an iconic window and doorway or opening or portal shape. All throughout Peru, you see this.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Yeah, all throughout it. And this is it's interesting. The Coricancha like has this the basic this Inca wall or whatever it is, this megalith. It's not megalithic, but this really high quality wall going around the outside. And then when you go on the inside, it's like a church, right? The upper part, there's church stuff, there's a big crucifix and everything, but there are these scattered bits of what used to be the original temple or whatever it was, these rooms throughout it that reflect this this amazing stonework. And there's stuff like this where look at this, the blocks going around the corner.
Right, that picture could have come straight from Egypt.
Right out of Egypt, exactly. Yeah. Block going around the corner.
Sam Fibro Fox, 99 somethings. Thank you.
Look,
we appreciate it.
Look at these joints. This is hard to understand. Like that, it's not a straight line, but they fit. You see this? It's like wobbly.
Yeah.
But it matches. It's pretty straight, but I mean, it's not completely straight, and yet there's no gaps because it just fits.
They're made to fit. They were ground together.
And then look at this. Look at this. There is this point
on the bottom.
The bottom block where these two corner bolts.
But that makes sense because the two corners are going to wear faster. Let's say if you're grinding them together.
Right.
The two corners of the upper blocks are going to wear more, and the bottom block is going to have that point to fill it.
That's right.
Yeah.
The only way that works is if you're somehow vibrating them into place.
If you've got 3 stones and you're grinding them together.
That's right. Exactly.
Bruce Silva, $20 for beer and cider money.
Thank you.
Oh, it's from Christian.
From Christian.
All right. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Did you bring a cider?
I didn't.
I got a beer if you want one.
I would like a beer. Yeah, I'll have to get some cider.
You won't even drink it right now because you're talking too much.
I know. Also, throughout the Coricancha, there's a whole bunch of completely anomalous stuff. Like, I'll just go through these. Like, these are just kind of lying around. Like, nobody knows what they're for, where they came from.
Those are like keystone cuts up there.
Yeah,
though.
but look at this. Like, what are these?
That's caterpillar tracks. I don't know.
Look,
they look like keystone cuts.
No tocar. Do not touch. It will hurt the stone.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's a nub.
Oh.
For all you nubbers. Reverse nubs. Like, see, you can see like that plugged into there. Maybe.
Yeah, that reminds me of like the tenon heads that Luke was telling us about.
Yeah.
Now that is crazy.
Well, what the hell was that?
That looks like that was meant to be poured. Something was supposed to be poured in there.
Yes, right. Something was keyed into this. But the other thing is these holes, you can see it right here. These holes actually go all the way through.
Yeah, they have grooves that go down. So if the block was laying on its side and there was another block underneath and you were like staggering these blocks up and they had all these channels, you could get to the top and pour molten metal and it would just go and fill and interlock all these in with steel or whatever.
Yes. Yes, and in some places they supposedly were filling them with like bronze. So somebody was pouring.
He says, "Money well spent." That was a $20 nub viewing right there. Oh, realness.
I haven't looked at all this video yet, so some of it's probably not good. But yeah, I'm just trying to show right there that you can see through it, you know. You can see through to the top.
Yeah, man.
There's just so much strange stuff.
That's
The Corte has
crazy.
weird stuff laying all over the place. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so this portal or door is protected behind glass, so it's difficult to take pictures of it, but what the hell is this?
That's okay, so that's the stone that you were just looking at.
Right, but this one's still on the wall.
So it's a lintel stone over a doorway.
So it's almost like they had...
Or is that actually a doorway? It's not a doorway.
No, somebody's busted through the wall from the backside, but you can see that there's similar... It's almost like this was designed to have metal bars or some kind of gate across it, or maybe ropes, or why, I don't know. Like, why is it...
That was where the star... It was just like...
Yes, exactly. Rogelio said that they may have had protected ancestral mummies in here with golden cords, you know.
Well,
but it's
yeah,
just,
somebody might have done that after the machine was broken.
Right, after the fact. But again, it's, you know, he would always say, well, this is maybe what they were doing, but nobody really knows. But this is just, it's just a really strange...
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So, wonder where the holes in the sides go. You know, do
these?
They go through to the inside hole as well? Like they connect to the hole that's pointed to the inside?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then there's holes in the back corner too.
Right, yeah.
So maybe there's like a network of all these channels running through there, and maybe I don't know, it'd be cool to see if there was any.
It's also interesting because...
There had to be something in those grooves.
Yeah. It's also interesting because this is a single piece. They just cut this inside corner out of a block here, and then, you know, it's weird. On this side, the blocks end on this side, but here they just cut it out. Like, it's like they built the wall and they came in and cut this out afterwards, is what I mean. You can see, like, this block starts here.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But this block starts here, and you know, it's very strange. Like, this whole thing was almost an afterthought. Wild.
Okay.
Let's see. There's something else important I wanted to show. Yeah, it's beautiful corners.
Oh
yeah, here's that, what we were just looking at. So you can see it's, you know, it's inside this room. This is to the outside. This faces the courtyard out here. And then look at the, you know, look at this swirly. Some of the stones were like this one. I took this picture because see, okay, here you can see horizontal layering, right? And this one probably has some horizontal. Some of them you could see obvious horizontal layering.
So this
and then
type of stone,
just, hey, you know.
So this type of stone was sedimentary rock that then got subducted,
more metamorphic, you're saying,
and then heated up and just kind of like.
It could be metamorphic. Here's a close-up.
Is that what metamorphic is? So it's not like being formed from magma, but it just got super hot and then recrystallized, maybe. So you can see maybe a little bit of the strata lines left in.
Yeah.
Maybe so. And we got another super chat. Blender Unleashed. Man, that sounds deadly.
Maybe he means the 3D app Blender.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
not like
says Illy guys so much. I'm assuming
I love you guys.
That's what that is?
Yeah, I love you guys so much. I will go on one of your tours within the next year or two. Woohoo! Have you guys seen what's underneath the Parthenon? Not yet. Not yet, but we're gonna go there sometime. I hope so.
What's underneath the Parthenon? I've been there.
Did you get into the basement?
No.
I know that some of those ruins there are, you know, they have big megaliths at the bases, like they were built on some much older platforms.
It blew my mind though, man. The columns, those freaking granite columns out on the front of it.
Oh yeah,
they're just like single piece. They're just monsters.
Stole them from Egypt.
I've never seen one in Egypt that looks anything like it.
Okay, yeah.
But maybe I haven't seen all of Egypt, that's for sure. So
So yeah, I don't know what's going on with the stone type. So okay, this one I took a picture of that block, and you can also see that it's got this weird pattern in it.
Yeah.
Like this does too, but I think somebody came along on a lot of these walls and they roughed them up and then plastered them. And then later, much more recently, people have removed the plaster and you can sort of see this scraping pattern. But then look at this one. So total horizontal lines. I don't know why. And you can see remnants of plaster. You see it?
Yeah.
This line here. There's remnants of this stuff all over these walls. So I wonder if these were originally polished and somebody roughed them up to put plaster on them, like the Spanish.
God.
Because there are some places where you find like a big, obviously ancient block, and most of the surface is rough, but there is one area that's highly polished, very smooth, and it's actually the upper surface. The rough part is below, like on a level lower.
So it wasn't somebody polished that rough surface down. It was the other way around.
Yeah, somebody took a polished surface and roughed it up. Yeah. So this was interesting. Let me see if I've got. Yeah, so you can see somebody who was busy making a church here cut through the wall because they wanted a doorway right here where Matt is standing. But that allows us to see the quality of the joins all the way through the wall.
Mm-hmm.
There's no gap fat here.
I was a little skeptical on the gap fat claim.
There is some places where they might have been using Peruvian gap fat, but not here. You can see like how high quality these joins are all the way in the depth of the wall.
Man.
You know, here's the inside of the room. This is the outside, and you can see it's just, this is perfect all the way through and down. Like right here, there's a little bit of a gap. But it's not surprising given that somebody chipped and blasted their way all the way through this wall. Look how excellent these joins are all the way through.
You can write it on my tombstone, dude. My epitaph. He loved razor flat joins.
Oh, so never bought the gap fat. Is that?
Never bought the gap fat hypothesis. Loved nubs and razor flat joints.
Razor flat. Let's see. What am I looking at? Yeah, so this is just showing the busted part of the wall. Can you imagine like being the guy, like I'm just going to just chip through this beautiful stonework.
Wow.
Yeah. No gap fat, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
So amazing. I can't wait to see all this stuff.
Also on the outside, there's like,
oh my God.
Yeah, like what the hell?
There's your nub fix right there. Look at that.
What the hell is this? There's two, yeah, on the other side. So it's just, I don't know, it's strange.
Those got to be the handles for the vibration machine.
I know.
They're
what is this?
Holding, you know, it's like, oh, no, get the 1 foot socket. The 1 foot driver is what we need. Yeah. Plug it into that stone. And just grind it down.
This is also in this, like this beautiful curved section. Like I had to take a picture of it from the outside. It's this.
Wow.
So you have to go all the way out and come down around, and then you can take a picture of this section. But it's just like, look at this.
Oh my God.
It's just pristine. This curve is just fantastic.
I love curves too.
Yeah. That whole
AW
section of wall.
1999. The answers lie in the proportion of the elongated skulls that we're all missing.
We can look at that too. I don't know if I have it. Let's see. Do I have a picture of this? There's this.
Thank you, buddy. Cheers.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. Right here. So this probably isn't super interesting, but this is the curved part. That weird section with all the nubs was right in here on the inside of this section. But you can see, like, the builders are making this wall, this is the flat wall, straight, no curve in it, and it has to meet the curved part. And you can see the intersection happens right here. There's this interesting thing because the curved section has larger layers, bigger blocks than the flat section of the wall. And so they kind of did this merge right in here. I don't know. I find it interesting where they were like, okay, the big layers have to meet the small layers and everything has to match up. So they.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, there's this intersection here.
Like it was a repair or a change in the.
Yes, or whoever was in charge of building the curve was working on their section, and whoever was in charge of making the straight walls was working on their section, and they got close to each other, and they're like, okay, we gotta figure this out.
It has the look of a repair, like the corner was damaged.
It could be a repair, yeah.
And then they rebuilt it very nicely. But you can kind of see, like you're saying, it stair steps up to the right, and
yeah,
man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, 7 Rin.
7 Rin.
5. What is this?
5 pounds.
5 pounds. The mention of snake merch makes me wonder: is merch still available? Yes, it is. It's there are links to it on the website.
Yeah, TeePublic. It's a TeePublic site. We're going to be changing it soon, but so far it hasn't happened yet.
But
so
yes, you're right.
Still works.
We haven't mentioned it in a while because we suck at marketing.
That's right. Nick.
Okay,
what's up,
Nick.
buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cheers, boys. Welcome back. So how does Peru stand up to Egypt? Still planning on planning a late 25 return trip?
Yes. Hopefully we will have a tour, our first joint SnakeBros and UnchartedX Peru tour for later this year. We were basically going down there to confirm that, to visit some sites, to sort of see some accommodations, to test some things, check some things out, and also meet with the people we're going to work with down there and sort of get to know them, right? And it was great. I mean, it was excellent. As for how does it stand up to Egypt, it's very similar in that you get your mind blown in multiple different ways. There's lots of questions about, like, the whole Inca versus Inca with Colonial, and then this possible ancient stuff, and then hints of even more older ancient things. It's very similar to Egypt. You're walking around, you're like, okay, this is dynastic, which is like the Inca, right? This is Ptolemaic, maybe, or this is Ottoman, you know, or even more recent. And you're like, yeah, this is it's very similar to walking around in Peru, and you're like, who made this thing versus this newer stuff? And so, and sometimes, like in Egypt, like, you know, there's this incredibly enormous statue sticking out of the sand, and you're like, and there's this dynastic temple sort of around it. And you're like, did these people make this? I don't know. And it was like that in Peru, because you're walking around looking at some stonework, and you're like, this doesn't look like, okay, looks like the Inca found this and fixed it. So then you're wondering, well, who made this giant megalithic stonework? And then you see that some places that giant megalithic stonework seems to be sort of enfolding something even older that's cut into the native rock. It's not a block. It's not megaliths. It's carved out of the mountain, and it's even stranger than the megaliths themselves. So it's very similar to like that with Egypt. And in some cases you're like, this is really old. This is old. This is newer. But all of these people were working with the same, like they recognize, the people that made these things recognize this older, much more interesting stuff in both places.
The other thing that was really striking to me was just how beautiful in terms of just nature, that sort of thing. Like, you know, the difference between these lush mountainous regions and the desert.
Right. Yeah.
Now,
Peru is very green.
The Nile Valley is beautiful in that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of the videos you were sharing with the family was just like these just reaching mountains with all this lush green and the birds and all the, you know, just the
flowers everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just colorful and beautiful. Of course, we were there in the middle of the summer, but in the rainy season, Rogelio was telling us, like, it's not usually this green.
Yeah.
We were right there in the middle. Like, it rained every day, multiple times a day, you know, but still, you're right. Like, the mountains fill up half the sky.
So there's a breathtaking like landscape aspect to it as well. Whereas the desert is almost like the desert has this. It's a different type of mysteriousness to it. That it's like it's all dead and gone. It's like a you know.
Yeah, the mountains look lush but deadly.
Yeah.
Especially when like sometimes the clouds would part and you'd realize that this mountain you've been looking at is just kind of the first part of the mountain. And then the clouds would part and you're just like, oh, it actually goes way up and all of that's covered in ice. There's glaciers and stuff hanging down off of that way back there. And you're just like, oh my God. Yeah, the Andes are no joke. And yeah, so you're standing there looking at like, wow, look at that mountain. And then the clouds would go away and you're like, oh, it's not real. That's just the sort of the front of the mountain, the bottom of it.
So cool. Okay, a couple more things. Trin, I apologize for calling you Seven Ren.
Sorry.
Thanks for the donation.
Again, 2 pounds. Trin.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I think I got everything else.
But yeah, you're right out that the desert versus the mountains. Cheers, by the way. Cheers everyone.
Bro. Yeah. So do you think that what do you think about the connection in the style of stonework to what you've seen in Egypt? Like, is this, do you feel it's stronger now? Like after looking at this, you're just like, yeah, same mindset.
Yes. The older stuff, the more mysterious, older, really megalithic stuff looks a lot like the older, mysterious, strange megalithic stuff in Egypt.
Who learned from who? Where did the technology develop and which way did it go?
That's a good question.
Because, I mean, you see stuff like these really geometrical blocks and like Pumapunku and things like that, and it kind of seems like, did they share the knowledge with Egypt?
Yeah.
Or did it come the other way? And then, but these seem so much more sophisticated. Some of the stuff like at Pumapunku.
Yeah, I'm not sure that there was. Okay, so what you asked was like who learned from who? I think it was the same people.
Okay.
Just the same people who made the ancient, the really strange stuff. It just looks. Let's move to the Inca Rosa Palace, and we can see why I'm saying that.
Still sharing this. Yeah.
Yeah. So this place, this is granite, and it's like a rose granite, kind of, right? And you can see the similarities with Egypt. There's scoop marks all over it. There's nubs everywhere. It's beautiful stonework. And then on top of it this is probably Inca up here, right? It's some kind of repair. But what was great about this is that there's places like this in the wall that let you sort of look through the stonework and see, and they fit each other all the way through. These enormous megalithic blocks are fit against each other, and there's actually a lip. Like I'll show.
What do you think? I'm to interrupt you here, but what do you think about these nubs? Do you have any clearer idea of what they might have been?
What the nubs?
Yeah, what they were for.
No.
Even the fact that they're all on the bottom there. I mean, look at them all.
I know that most of them on the bottom, they seem functional in terms of the construction.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you see they've been broken off. They've been sheared. Like look at the scrape marks on this one. It's somebody who came along with the scooper, the magical granite scoop, and was just sort of shearing this block down to size without completely flattening it down to what would have been the finished surface, right? You can see all of them. All of these still have 6 inches of protective material over the front in which the nub is embedded.
Yes. I wonder though if this idea that they were vibrating them to grind against each other.
Yeah. So you can grab it.
Yeah, that those nubs were like part of how it connected to this thing that was
and
shaking it.
All through here we had geopolymer versus stone softening versus something even more unconventional versus conventional work. Like, can you even do this with conventional stonework methods? Well, let's look at some of them. Like, like Chris Dunn says, you have to be able to replicate the most difficult aspects. So let's look at some of the places where we can see through So just to understand what you're looking at here, on the left here is original wall. This is all original wall. This stuff is a repair. This might even be modern. It's busted pieces of original wall with tons of mortar. Okay, but this lets us look at things like this. This is original places where the blocks would fit up against each other. So when you look at this, you can see here that this would have been a single block, came down, sat up against this block, and then ended here. And there's this little lip that goes all the way down.
Yeah, like in the picture we were looking at, the two joined above.
It would have been a point right here, but now we can see that that actually continues all the way through the depth of the freaking block, right? And then there's a lip in the front edge right here. Look at this.
It's sticking up on the front.
It sticks up on the front edge.
So the rock that's sitting on top is embedding itself down into the other one on the bottom.
Look at this. Right?
Yeah. They can't be, grinding them like back and forth like a great distance.
Yeah.
Because the surfaces are curved. It has to be like a very small oscillation.
Yeah. It's not geopolymer.
Oh,
it may have been some kind of softening, but it definitely isn't geopolymer. Like for example, in Ollantaytambo, there's a quarry, and they were clearly bringing gigantic blocks down the mountainside, which doesn't make sense if they're doing geopolymer. I mean, there's massive blocks that have been cut and were intended to be brought over there and used for something, all strewn all down the mountain and across the valley and up to the other side. So I don't think they were pouring them. They may have had a way of softening them.
The grout. The grout is the geopolymer.
Ah, the grout is the geopolymer. Okay. But I needed to say that anyway, because I saw so many people when I was posting short things on X.
You can't get away from
or whatever, and people were like, "Oh, it's geopolymer. This is cast, not carved." And I'm just like, no, like I don't know if they were carved, but they also weren't cast. I don't think they were cast, right? Unless, if you could soften it somehow, then you call that casting? I don't know. But they weren't pouring these into some kind of mold, breaking the mold and putting them in place.
If you could soften them, then you could just pull them apart and put them back together later. So you could just like pull pieces apart and make it really easy to transport, and then you could soften them again and just kind of put them back together.
That's true, yeah.
So there would be no reason why gigantic blocks that are definitely hard to move would be on the sides of mountains, because they were being taken from the quarry to the other side if they were softening them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There were, the blocks on the mountain, we'll get to that, but the blocks on the mountain they're huge, So it's like they're making it harder.
I don't care if Barnhart believes they were softening stones. Sorry, being an asshole, but I don't think that's what they were doing. I skipped somebody. Hold on. Scott Inman, 1440. Hey.
Guild Stranger.
That's a good number. Cheers from the Guild Stranger. Hey, bro. Those nubs look a lot like clamp cleats resulted from a press or lifting clamp that caused molecular change in the material. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, that would be, I guess, in the stone softening camp.
Could be. Okay, so
Ed Fu. What's up, bro? Yeah. $5. He says, remember, even Edwin Barnhart believes they were softening the stones. They were mining something, I believe. You mean like
mining some material that was that would allow them to soften the stones?
Yeah, I don't think so. That's
the other thing is, like, they use a lot of different stone types, and if it was some kind of chemical, like, there's this story of like these birds use this plant that would soften stone. There's no single chemical process, at least that would soften every stone type. That would soften andesite and granite and limestone, and it doesn't. They're not all the same kind of material. So for me, I think I started to think more along the lines of like the Hutchison effect. something that's using some kind of weird combination of electromagnetic and radio waves that just will sort of, I don't know, do something weird to space time. You know, just like it doesn't soften the stone, it does something strange to the space time that they're sitting in.
I can't argue with that. If they had that technology, yeah.
Yeah, you know, like the stuff Hutchison was doing, where like it didn't matter what material he put in there, if it was aluminum or wood or whatever, it would start warping and changing strangely, and he
Yeah.
could merge them together and
Yeah.
make them float. Right? It did everything you need for doing this kind of stonework. If it's real, the Hutchison effect would be what you needed. You just pointed it at the whole wall, and just
Yeah.
melt the blocks together. You know?
Yeah. So that's like saying, like, in other words, you have a tool that you can break the molecular or atomic bonds between the atoms.
Yeah. Or temporarily change the laws of physics so that the atomic bonds are different just for a little while, right? It's doing, I don't know what the Hutchison effect was doing, but you can imagine, like, can you create a field that sort of changes the fundamental laws of physics within the field for a little while, and then when you turn the field off, the laws go back to the way they were, and all the atomic bonds are back again, you know, or working the way they were before. So while the field's on, the stones are soft and malleable and also light. You can move them around because the gravity's not affecting them, the gravity from the rest of the universe. Then you turn the field off after you've done what you wanted, and they're hard and in place and heavy.
Yeah. I would think that you're not changing the laws if it would just be, I don't want to split hairs, but if the laws were changed, then they aren't laws anymore. Then they're wrong, in other words.
Well,
So,
that may just mean that there's
utilizing the laws to do some other effect that we don't understand. I don't know.
yeah, okay. So maybe I'm using the wrong terminology. Or maybe that just points to the fact that the laws we think of as being the laws of the universe, that there's actually some more fundamental set of rules below those.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I don't think we need to go there, because I think all of these
Scoops,
these visual, all of the tool marks on here can be explained with known processes. And I think that the way the stones are fit together and the geometry that they leave that is left behind where they're joined, like those peaks and valleys, can be explained with vibration.
Yeah.
So why would we need to change the laws of physics if we could explain it with vibration?
We don't need to change any laws of physics. I was just
But
going
I'm
off on a
saying
rant.
I know I'm saying the same thing about this softening stone and freaking geopolymer shit. It's like, I don't think any of it answers the question, really, of like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you can find issues with the geopolymer. Why are there large blocks on the side of the mountain if they were just could be just hauling powder up there?
Yeah.
How come you don't see two stones of identical size and shape? Because they would have had casts. They would have had
molds,
molds to pour the stones, to pour the geopolymer into. Or what?
Yeah.
You think they're just pouring it freely and then just sitting there with freaking scrapers and trying to keep it into a blob until it dries? No. Like, if anybody that's messed with concrete knows, or mortar, like, you gotta have a mold. So they must have had, where are all the freaking mold shirts?
Mold shirts. Show me the mold shirts. Geopolymer people.
Yeah, because there's obviously thousands of different casts. Because maybe hundreds of thousands, because they're all different shapes. So that theory doesn't work. Softening stone needs some kind of new physics or shit that we don't, I don't know. I think it's simply explained by grinding action between two vibrating stones.
Could be.
Anyway.
But then you get to, when you start looking at Sacsayhuamán, you're like, okay, if somebody was vibrating that thing, they had a gigantic.
Where's the giant machine?
Where's the huge machine?
Where's the machine shirts?
Right. Where's the shards of the machine? You can't sit there and sing at that block and make it vibrate, you know.
But that's also consistent with the theory that they sang the stones into place. Would be like there was something that was just like freaking ringing the stone.
Yeah.
Until it ground its way down into the others.
Look at that.
That's awesome.
Look at the lip on the front edge.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It makes perfect sense that's exactly what would happen if you were grinding the stone down into it.
Yeah. Or if it was soft.
Wouldn't it be like squirting out this way?
Yeah, it might be
Yeah, you put two freaking soft surfaces together and they roll like a double bead.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'd have double rolled beads out on every joint and it's not there.
Yeah.
Or you had the guy with the spatula going along and sloughing it off every joint, getting rid of the double bead.
Yeah.
Everywhere. He never failed to get rid of one of them. Yeah, Ben's laughing at you because you're still on day 1.
Hey, this is day 4. Get out of here. No, it's actually day 2.
Pouring magma.
Because Rogelio's with us.
The problem with the magma is you're going to make pumice, right? Because magma, when it's not under pressure, is boiling.
Yeah.
And so it's making all these little gas,
making huge pockets.
The gas is all sublimating in there.
And we did see,
or the solids are sublimating to gas.
The Chulpa towers, the big round, were made out of something that looks very much like pumice. I mean, it's not lightweight, but I mean the blocks are huge, but they're full of millions of pockets. Yeah. They were using a lot of volcanic material. And then there's other places like this. So look at this. You know, the outer surface of this block is spalling off there.
Yeah, this is familiar.
This is something we see in Egypt as well. And just the texture is very strange. Oh, come on. You're going to let me zoom in? No? Okay. Why not? Let's see. Wow. You're just not going to let me zoom in at all.
What just happened?
I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I need to open. There we go. See this? The texture of the stone is weird down here. I mean, maybe I need a better picture, but let's see, 100%. This is 100% right here. So you can kind of see like this. It's very strange. And the entire outer layer here is spalling off of it.
Yeah, it's weird how it does that.
So this is another thing that made me think, like, in some cases, it does look like somebody did something anomalous to the stone. And this is the long-term effects of whatever anomalous thing that they used.
But, I mean, we've seen that type of spalling on, like, just natural chunks of granite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out in the mountains and near the Red Sea.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like that can happen.
But why does it follow the particular
know.
shape of the outer block?
Yeah, I know. That's weird. It's like it goes a quarter-inch deep into the stone and it's
stop. Yeah, and then that's weird. Where the effect ends. Yeah,
it's really strange.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Okay. Edfu, $5 says we don't have to agree with Barnhart. My point is more that he at least acknowledges something is strange, which is great from an academic.
Yeah.
Shamir?
That's true.
Yeah, okay, you're right. That part is cool.
So
the acknowledgement should be like they had some kind of more advanced technology than they've been given credit for. I think that's what your point is, right?
Yeah. So I took this footage here because this is of a corner, and the blocks have become separated a little bit, and this curve is just beautifully represented. So on the other sections, we're imagining that there were blocks there, and we're saying, wow, this would have been a perfect fit. But the reason I would say that is because we looked at many places like this where they've been separated a little bit, and you can look through and see, yeah, it was a perfect fit. And
Wow.
those surfaces aren't flat either. They have contours that they either slightly twist this way, or it'll twist like this, or as the surface goes up, it changes like this. There was a block sitting on the street in Ollantaytambo that somebody had just set up as a bench, and you could see it was like if it had been in the wall, it would have been a block with a sort of an L shape at the top, and that 90-degree cut. When you're looking at the front of the wall, you would have seen this 90-degree, but you saw that in the depth of the rock, it actually changes and became this beautiful curve instead of a 90. So in the back of the wall, it was a curve, and it was just, I mean, it would fit all the way through, right? Yeah. It's just like, it's amazing.
Yeah, and the rock could only move one way. It could only move out. It couldn't slide back further.
Or that rock couldn't get out without the other rock coming out as well. Yeah, this is amazing.
It's interlocking. I mean, that's great.
So here, I'm running my hand down, and it doesn't look, that surface in there doesn't look smooth. It looks rough, but it was actually quite polished. I mean, felt very, fine. Like you could feel it was a little rough, but nothing like this outside surface. So I loved this whole corner of this. It's like this section, these corners were just beautiful.
It's wild that the corners, it's like the corner is still standing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that makes sense because it's supported on two axes.
Yeah. And then, of course, this
probably have bigger.
Look at the scooping on this one. This is like it couldn't be more clear that we're looking at it's the same technology as the stuff in Egypt. It's just that here they were, I don't know what more whimsical, less constrained to consistent layers, more likely to just build, have whatever shapes they wanted with every block.
That's cool. All right. Blender Unleashed. Another $5. Man, you guys. Thank you guys.
You guys wanted to talk about long heads.
We can argue about how all day, but that still doesn't explain why.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're still in the what
exactly
process here.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. What features are there?
What did they actually do? Once we figure that out, then maybe we can start asking like, how did they do all this stuff? And then once we've got all that, maybe then maybe we can figure out who, which is, who the hell did it. Then maybe we can get why. Anyway, this was there are long heads. We saw a few. This one is very strange, and you can see there was something wrong with his right eye. There's something in there, some kind of bone growth. I don't know. He was, is a very tiny skull, and it had a hole in the top. I guess the picture doesn't show it. Yeah, here we go. It's open in the top here.
The skull was tiny?
Yes, this whole mummified thing was very small. It was like the skull was maybe, this big. It was very small.
But like larger than a baby's skull.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But you would think it was like a child, a very tiny child. But it, it had a full set of teeth, too, so it was very weird. And the Peruvian museum where we looked at it, they're all in on it. It's an alien. They had pictures of UFOs and everything all around. Like, this is a star child. But there were plenty of other skulls there, too, trepanation. This one's long and wide. You can see that it's got these two large lobes there. Very interesting. That one might actually be skull binding. I don't know.
This is interesting.
But you can see this is like a mummified person.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. It's like we're worshiping the Star Child here.
Wow. It's weird. The one-eyed Star Child.
Yeah.
So is that tray panning up there, or is that a...
No, that's natural. That the skull plates didn't
broke?
completely.
Oh my goodness. Oh. They never closed up all the way.
Yeah. And then what's going on with the ribs? Were they split, or did they just never form properly?
Well, they look totally messed up.
Yeah. It is a really strange specimen.
Huh.
And you can see right there, alien from the cosmos. I loved it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Trin, 5 pounds. Are there lips in them gaps as well? Thank you, Trin. Lips in the gaps of the rock, I suppose.
Oh yeah, yeah. The tiny, yes, on the outer edge, you could tell that it had the same kind of lip there. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Ed Fu says it's interesting if it's a little rough on the inside. That would hint a cutting or a cutting over softening. So like, if it was softened, it shouldn't be rough on the mating faces. And I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
They would just be smooth.
That's true. Yeah, it shouldn't be any roughness at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they would just...
They felt pretty smooth, but there was a little bit of, it wasn't polished.
Okay, but the other thing is, if they were softened, wouldn't they bond with each other when they dried? Why? How would
it does seem like it would just glue itself together, right? Yeah.
Because I mean, like, for example, when you're like we were welding poly pipe, you soften both ends of the poly by heating them, and then you just push them together, and they fuse.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Softening doesn't really make sense.
Right. Well, the softening question, like really when you're at Sacsayhuamán, is when you really start asking about softening. Because, I mean, these are enormous. And they're just as perfectly fitted as the stuff we were just looking at from the Roca place, right? And you start wondering about vibrating these blocks. You're just I don't know. Don't know.
But if you I'm just thinking that it doesn't take much. Like, the tuning fork, right? You hit the tuning fork and you put the end down.
Yeah.
And it transfers that frequency into there. Now, is that going to grind stone away? No. So it would have to be quite a dynamic process. If you had, but you could tune it.
You could tune it, yeah. I tried to take photos of each section of walls we were walking along, but eventually Ben and Rogelio were just like, dude,
too many walls.
We're never gonna, we got to go. I'm like, okay. But yeah, I like how you can kind of see this. There was this sort of ongoing pattern of like in each section of wall, you have a massive corner column, usually, and then somewhere in the section of wall was a really huge megalith, and they sort of filled in the spaces between the corner, the megalith, the corner column.
So cool.
Yeah.
How deep do they go? I mean, it's curving down right at the grass right there. You can see that column. It's like
in some places they go down much farther. Like this is not the bottom of the wall.
Or is it sitting on another stone?
It's sitting on more rock, yeah.
Damn.
But you see the same style like here. Oh, come on. Why does this thing decide I can't zoom in sometimes?
Freaking PCs.
Now, over time, these have split and separated, and then they've got this all roped off, so I couldn't get in there and really check.
So how deep did those go? Question from the chat.
I don't know. I don't think anybody does. We asked Rogelio, and he was like, we know that they go down more, but how much more is the question.
I love that. Look at that behind Matt.
Yeah, this here.
No, the circular. Yes, the way they shape them around that.
Yes.
They kind of make that little curve.
Yep.
That's so cool.
And this is a repair.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's modern. You can tell the difference between modern repairs and Inca. Like this back here is Inca repair.
Mm-hmm.
This is modern. This part is modern.
Oh, the modern looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Where's the Puma?
Just look at this. Like the whole place is just, and then also these sharp corners. Like the whole thing is this jagged.
Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking, like when we're up there, I'm like, okay, these builders are obviously they're artists, but they also are structural engineers.
Yes.
And these things are basically retaining walls.
But all the corners make it stronger.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. You don't want a long, straight, flat retaining wall. It's going to bow out. Yeah. So they made this jagged, because not only does this wall have to hold in all the dirt, but it's got to hold the next level with the stones from that wall, and then the level above that with the stones from that wall, and then the tower. So it's like holding in all this material. So they made it this
jagged.
They gave it these acute angles on the points. This point comes in and it goes back sharply.
God, think of how much more wall that is, too.
I know, it's like a lot more wall and way more corners and all kinds of complicated things, but it was much stronger, and they're not bowing out at all.
Now, did you go all the way to the top and get on that weird platform up there?
We did go up there. It's all blocked off, but we did climb all the way to the top.
What do you think that was?
I don't know.
Was
circular?
Was it a Göbekli Tepe tower?
It might have been it might have been a gigantic Chulpa. Like a multi-leveled. Rogelio also had this cool thing with the Chulpas. He said that the shape of I'll show it, but he said that they may have been like some kind of like offering to the god. He's like this. You take the cup, you fill it with something, and then you offer it to the gods, and so you just make a huge one, and then you put it on the cliffside overlooking the lake. But there are a whole bunch of them, and you could see it was the same deal. Megalithic ones. Ancient megalithic ones made with gigantic blocks in very strange ways, and then a bunch of cobblestone ones all over the place around those.
Cataway says that Marion, the guy who made the photogrammetry of the Petrie core, he made it a photogrammetry of this entire site.
I saw that, yeah.
That's cool.
I saw that he had posted that the other day, yeah. Yeah, I didn't get enough pictures to do photogrammetry.
Whoa, go back. Go back to the wife beater right there.
The what?
The wife beater t-shirt in the middle.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a drain.
Okay. It's a drain. That's what I was wondering. So there are channel blocks and everything.
Sometimes there's channels, yes, yeah. So water can flow through it. And it's just impossible. Just like with Egypt, it's impossible to capture the scale of this from pictures. You're like, I'm walking through there, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm trying to take pictures that shows how large this stuff is, and you just can't do it. Like one of the best ones I have, me and look at these guys back here next to this gigantic block, and they're still 6 or 7 feet from it because of the rope.
Nice hat.
Yeah, I got this in the UK. It worked really well in the rain.
I bet.
Yeah.
Just
3 ponytails.
Yeah.
And a douchebag. That's what this picture is. And then there's this one. I don't know what to think of this. This is a very strange. You know what?
It looks
people
natural.
saying like it's a snake. Yeah, dude. I thought at first there were flint nodules in here.
Yeah. Possibly. What kind of stone is all this? A lot of it looks like limestone.
Some of it may be limestone. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this was stone
Bruce
softening.
says it's
evidence of stone softening. Yeah.
Bruce,
No, it looked like natural somebody pulled a bunch of flint nodules out of there. That's what I thought when I looked at it. Are you disappointed in Bruce?
I was just thinking about
Bruce.
I was thinking
How dare
about
you say this?
we could make a video, or like it would be interesting to go around here in the hill country and like film a bunch of natural rock faces and the way the flint nodules are in these rocks and all this kind of stuff, and then post them on the internet and be like, what is this?
Yeah.
And watch all the freaking stone softening and all the geopolymer people come out of woodwork. It's I don't know.
This was funny.
I've seen a lot of mysterious looking rocks out in nature. Nowhere near any ancient structures. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
rocks that just have like the strangest features. You're trying to figure out what the heck was this?
Yeah.
I mean, we did that for like a year when we were out on that Schultze job.
Yeah.
A hole in the wall.
Yeah.
We were every day we were finding something that was like, what is this?
Yeah, what? How the hell? Is this natural or not? Why is this rock sticking out of this other rock? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was me taking a picture of Matt, taking a picture of Ben, taking a picture of the wall. It's just, it's dumb. But some of these corners were really amazing. Let's see. The inside corners. Where are we go? Here. Look at this thing. This block is complicated.
Yeah.
It was so hard to photo, to get a photo of it because you could stand in there. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And it would just like wrap around you. And it's got this beautiful curve. There's no corner. It goes right. It's curving this way, but also it curves outwards towards the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this, and then it's got this break in it right here. Like it fractured down that part of the block. So, sometimes in Egypt and other places here, you see like, okay, they took this huge block and they just cut a huge chunk out of it to put it in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like different. It kind of, the whole thing is already warping in one direction. It dives down into the corner and then curves around the other way. And the corner is not a 90. It's like more like this. So it goes in and then comes back out and curves back out towards itself. It's wild. It's hard to picture it. Hard to take a photograph of it.
But I mean, it still could have been the same method, right? Like a large
it
block
could have been
that they ended up cutting this.
Yes, a very huge piece of stone that went out here and they just cut this beautiful shape into it. And then they fit it to the, then you're carving it down towards the fitted sections. So it just gives it this, I don't know, it ends up with this really cool shape.
Yeah.
But look at this complicated crap up here they're doing. Look at this. Why?
Yeah.
Why is it like this?
See, somebody left the machine on too long. I think sometimes like you'll see stones like that, like the guy,
he's like, I'm done to take a smoke break.
Yeah, he sets it up and he's like,
he gets a call from his wife. Yeah, he's like, babe,
and then he looks
I'm
back
at
up
work.
and the freaking block has been oh crap, turn it off.
Yeah.
Seriously though.
Yeah. I can buy that. Yeah.
Or maybe there was a damaged corner and they just ground down on it until they got past the damaged part.
Yeah.
So some of them are just set way down in for some reason.
Yeah.
I gotta try.
I love this.
We have to try to build a machine to do this.
Yeah. Then you have this area. So we left. So you can see the infamous walls in the background. It was raining. It started raining really hard.
Wow.
And some of it was sleet. But we went to this area that they call it the Inca slides. It also has just random cutouts.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is? Oh, come on, what is going on here? Yeah, like what is this? And this is supposed to be natural.
Maybe they had a statue standing there.
Yeah, this is supposed to be natural. became less and less convinced of that as I explored it. And I didn't have a whole lot of time to explore it, and it
You
was
mean
raining.
natural that it's rounded off?
Yes. Like that this is supposed to be a natural feature. Like that that this outcrop just looks like that. I just don't think so. I think
They dragged something on it, and they dragged the old mountain plow on it, and just.
yeah, I mean, is it supposed to be glacial?
Oh yeah. We've seen stuff like that. We're looking at some features with Randall.
Yeah.
Drumlin features.
It could be glacial, but it does, some of it still doesn't make sense. If it's glacial, it needs to be like, this is beautiful.
That is wild. Look at that. It's polished.
Also incredibly slippery when in the rain. So I was like trying not to fall and die, climbing up here and taking photos. But yeah, look at that. Does this glacial carving?
Why can't it be glacial carving? Damn. So cool looking.
Because of that. Why, if it's glacial carving, does it have features like that?
Ripples.
Yeah, it's nice and smooth, and then suddenly, no, it's diving down underneath this other one, and this is how is this? It should be a smooth cut across here. Like, why is it? Was the ice going in two different directions? There were multiple places like this where it would just change 90 degrees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I can't explain that.
But yes, at first you're like, okay, natural, maybe it's ice cut, and then you start to look.
But could that? Is it possible for the? Yeah, see, it's rippled. I don't know. Is it possible for a glacier to do that? What, are you wearing a trash bag?
Yeah, I was wearing a trash bag. They were selling these like $1 pink trash bags for people that didn't bring a poncho. And I put it on. It was just like.
So, are we recommending ponchos for everyone for the trip?
Okay. You need a poncho. Especially I was there in the raining season, right?
Yeah.
And I don't own a good poncho. I do now. I got a nice one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, this trash bag sucks. The wind is blowing all over the place. Looks more like, yeah, it's not helping me at all.
It's keeping your cheek dry.
Yeah.
So, looks like the glacial grooves on Kelly's Island in Lake Erie. I wonder if we'd have to look at some other glacial. We just need to look at other sites to see if there's similar rippling features. Is it possible
it just changes 90 degrees right there. The smoothing part.
Yeah, it looks like that's due to like seismic activity, like it broke.
No, I don't think it broke. It's like it was cutting up.
Yeah, that is.
And then it's cutting this way. It's there's no change.
But there's a fracture there on that vertical.
Yeah, there's a fracture. Yeah, so
why would they cut it that way? Why would they?
I'm not sure anybody cut this either. I don't know what it is.
Well, I'm just saying if it was man-made, if it's not natural.
Oh yeah, they're scraping material off of it. That's what it looks like. You're just like,
why would they
do
the
big scooping tool? You're like, and I don't know. It could be natural as well. It's just weird.
And then they're all in a line, like the.
Yeah, but then this one's going this way.
Yeah, exactly.
And this one's going this way, right? So this is going up the photograph. This one's going off to the right or left, right.
That is just wild.
Yeah,
looking.
it does. It's if it was ice doing this, it must have been several different regimes of ice traveling in different directions. Look at that.
What does this mean?
Oh, somebody joined the YouTube membership.
Oh, okay. Hey,
thank you.
Thanks, Bonnet Lake. Appreciate you. New member.
Yeah.
I didn't even know we had a YouTube membership.
Yeah, I set up the memberships.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you for that. And then throughout this stuff, you find people have actually been cutting, right? So this is Hanan Pacha, cut right out of the native rock. Things like this that it's just really weird. They don't make sense. But is this why the entire Sacsayhuamán site is here in the first place? Because there's these like select areas of much older cutouts in the native rock. Like you can see, this is ancient.
And this is still andesite we're looking at here?
Yeah.
Or
this is the native stone. This is the thing that's famously supposed to have been turned upside down.
Yeah. Like it broke and
It's
rolled
been
over.
yes. But there's just random cuts in this area.
Wild.
Yeah.
Do you think that it
And
rolled
it's
over?
high quality work. I don't know if it rolled. It's all roped off. We couldn't really explore, and it was also pouring.
Mm.
You know. But yes, it does kind of look like it was supposed to have been in the other direction. But look at this. You know, this is like, what are they even doing here? This is low quality stone full of holes. But somebody came in and cut some stuff out and polished it. Let's see. Let me find.
So.
And then, yeah, here.
Most stones are limestone with a few being granite.
The Sacsayhuamán walls are probably limestone.
Oh, there's a little nub right there.
Yeah, there's a little nub.
Heck. How big is that little round nub?
Oh, this is tall.
How big's the nub?
I don't know.
Like this?
Probably, yeah. Like
Oh
this.
my
Yeah.
God, it looks like a little quarter size.
Yeah. No, that's a big.
Dang.
Yeah, like this is a, you know,
Oh yeah.
a plaque that you can read.
So that nub is definitely not for lifting.
No. And this goes like inside, and there's this carved altar. It's just a really strange place. It doesn't make any sense.
Get you out of the rain though.
Yeah. So somebody came along and like cut a whole bunch of stuff out of this natural fissure in the rock, flattened some sections in complicated ways for like no discernible purpose.
This is your guide here?
Yeah,
He
that's
looks cool.
Rogelio. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, there's just this square portal cut in the side of the wall there, and then there's, you know, like, look at that.
Wow.
Like, why would you go to all the work to do that? You know, is this, you know, the explanation of it being a temple? It's a sacred place. I don't know. I have no idea.
How deep does that go?
2 or 3 feet.
Wow.
You can see the back of it right there.
Hmm.
So, let's see. Did I take a photo? Yeah, here's a photo of it. See?
Dang. That is wild.
Isn't it weird? So all through, and here's the altar thing. I laid down on this, by the way. That was fun. Got a photo of me laying on there like a sacrifice.
You're definitely gonna die.
I'm
now.
gonna die. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna die. Then we went and visited. So nearby, you kind of climb over the hill and go up, and then down, and then there's another valley. And there's this even older looking Sacsayhuamán-ish
Damn.
style stones holding again. It's a whole platform, and this outer wall is holding up all this material, but in the middle of it is a ton of like rock cut carved stuff sticking out, right? So it's almost like that stuff was there, and somebody came along and built this massive megalithic wall and filled it with dirt to protect this. I don't know.
Hmm.
So we walked around this. We found a place and climbed up it. You can see this is like Sacsayhuamán, but I don't know if older is the right word or different stone type.
Man, look at those trees. Look at that
Yeah,
forest.
that's a eucalyptus. There are tons of eucalyptus planted
Wow.
all over the place here. Look at this. So we walked
Wow.
through this to turn.
That's enchanting.
Yeah,
Look at that.
yeah.
Damn. You didn't find any arrowheads?
I never saw any arrowheads. I
Hmm.
probably was too busy looking at the walls, but I did try to look a few times. It's not the best camera work here. Let's see if I turn around. Yeah. So there you can see the structure that we're walking down towards.
Wow.
And up on top of it here, you see this.
Yeah.
Is
That's
this
natural bedrock?
natural outcrop? I think. It's hard to tell because I mean it goes down into the dirt here, but it's like somebody built this megalithic wall and sort of enclosed this whole upper platform in the middle of which is this weird, and it overlooks the Cusco Valley. Like, look at the city back here.
Is there any other bedrock protruding out anywhere else around there?
So look, it's just cut.
This is on top?
This is on top of that.
Whoa.
So that's what I'm saying. We climbed up over here. You can see, I think that's Ben climbing up over there. And this gives you the scale of the wall. And there's a short part here and we're climbing up. It's kind of slippery and wet and dangerous.
Thanks, Viking Gaming. 2 somethings. Appreciate it, buddy. Yahoo.
$2 New Zealand dollars.
Caught you live. Nice to see you again, guys. Nice to see you, buddy.
So yeah.
Ed Fu says, how many shamirs did Solomon find? 1? It looks like these builders found enough shamirs for a small workforce to be cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ben and I were climbing around this looking for, and again, you just random, there's drilled holes and then these cutouts that are like seats. And then it's just everywhere. Just random crap just cut out of the bedrock.
We need a scan of this.
Yeah.
Because I wonder if you could
look at that. Like, what?
Obviously, they were about to fit a weird looking stone right there.
Yeah. It is like block fits, right? The upper blocks are just gone.
So
look at that. Like,
this needs to be scanned. Look at how they're lined up.
Yeah.
And there's stairs. So if you could scan this whole thing, maybe this is actually just the incredibly eroded
foundation of some structure. Yeah.
Man, can you imagine? Maybe you could see it.
Yeah. It's just weird.
Okay, that one, you flip that one over and it goes on top of the other one. That fits in that. Yeah, I can see the puzzle pieces now. And if you got to work on it for a while and then
all right, yeah.
You put the right pieces together.
So in this one, I'm sort of pointing out how heavily eroded it is.
Oh yeah. See, that looks like limestone erosion there.
It does look like limestone.
And these gigantic holes in the rock look like very limestoney.
Yeah. And then I'm showing here. So we went down the mountain to have lunch, and there's just more Hananpacha random stuff cut. This is down maybe a couple 100 feet from Sacsayhuamán where we're having lunch here. So it was really, really interesting sight. And we only had like 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4 hours there. So there's lots more to see. Tons of stuff we didn't go over, but you can see like there's the rock cut things and then with the megaliths around it. But look at this, it's just sort of random.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's go from Cusco to Ollantaytambo. Okay, so the Sun Temple, most people are familiar with this, this place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ollantaytambo is there's a couple of mountains and then there's a little valley that kind of goes back in. There's a river going along traveling along a big valley, and then there's 2 mountains that face the river on one side, and there's a valley. So Ollantaytambo is sort of nestled in that, and the site itself, the Sun Temple site, is up one of the mountain sides.
Mm-hmm.
I I wonder if I have a photo that shows it. I probably do, but it's from the quarry hike. Let's see if I can find that real quick.
So we got a question from Claire from the UK. Why are contractors referred to as Johnsons?
Not all contractors are Johnsons.
Just depends on the quality of work.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Anyone can be a Johnson.
Yeah.
If it's less than high quality.
Okay, this is not the best photo of it, but you can see. So this Ollantaytambo is down in here. I'm up on the mountain looking down. Let's see if I can find a better picture. I have a. Let's see. I need vistas and B-roll. Got a bunch of fun B-roll of driving. Let's see if I can find. Do I have it? This is kind of it. Yeah, so we're up on the mountain on the far side. The river's directly below us. This is Ollantaytambo here, and the Sun Temple is up on this part, right? And this long ramp is the ramp that they were bringing the stones up, supposedly.
Really?
Yeah. So this ramp goes down here, and then like they brought the stones across the valley through all this crap, across the river, and then up. Well, I'm sorry. They were coming down from where I am, and they brought it across here and over here and up this ramp, right? And at least that's what we're told, because there's stones left all through this crap, and then some on the ramps too.
Yeah, so that suggests that they just stopped building. I mean, you wouldn't.
The site is not done. It's clearly incomplete, right?
Yeah, so they wouldn't just. So if the site was in the middle of being built, then anybody who had come, let's say it was built by the Incas, anybody that had visited them would see them building it, right?
I think so. Yeah. So this is me. I'm
What's
looking.
the story? How do they explain that it just?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it's just you can see like there's just blocks up here, up high, like and as you go up, the quality of the stonework and the walls gets better, right?
The Inca work looks nice too, though.
Yeah, it does. Now that you've been to, oh yeah, this is us trying to breathe. I'm like, how are you doing? Terrible. Can't breathe. Jonathan Frost, now that you've been to Egypt and Peru, how has your perspective changed on the subject?
I gotta pee.
Okay.
Do you mind?
No.
Be right back.
Let's see. How has my perspective changed? I still think it's incredibly mysterious. Going to Peru for sure just showed me like, okay, there's a whole lot of unanswered questions on how they did all of this stuff and who did it and how long ago, right? The connection to some of these very ancient sites and Tiwanaku, Pumapunku area in Bolivia, I think is undeniable. There seems to be a trail of evidence, that leads to it, but man, I don't know. The stonework in Pumapunku is really weird, and it in some ways matches this, but I actually think that there's more similarities between stuff we see in Egypt and the sites in Peru, like in Ollantaytambo and at Sacsayhuamán and Cusco, than there is with Tiwanaku and Pumapunku, because those sites actually, Pumapunku is just really odd. It's like pieces of a machine all over the place, right? You don't see a whole lot of like nubs and this sort of stonework. Everything is very square and machine-like in Pumapunku, but you can see the high quality stonework. So I do think that where was I going with that? I do think that there's legitimate questions on how they were doing this, what it was all for, and of course who and how long ago. But but I don't feel any closer to the answers of any of those questions now that I've been there. I think that, I feel like the questions are just as difficult. I don't even know if they can be answered. We were actually discussing while we were out there, like, it's very possible that we will not answer any of these questions really without finding some kind of lost repository of information that hasn't been messed with since ancient times. So, but yes, I would recommend, like, we're going to be doing a tour out here. It's going to be awesome. And if you want to go, make sure you're kind of in shape because dude, it's tough. Just walking around in Cusco was hard the first couple of days. And of course, everything
real quick. Sorry.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I will.
I was trying to get it. I was trying to do it from my end, but I don't know. I don't think I can control that.
It stopped.
Yeah. I tried to put the speaker in the full window, but it didn't do it. It put the share in the full window instead.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah. So get in shape for the tour because you can't breathe.
Yeah. There's not enough oxygen.
But didn't you get
anywhere.
better? Did it get better as you?
It did.
Yeah. So
but
you
it was still
your body acclimated to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't matter though.
So we need.
You'd be like, yeah, that's much better now. I'm not tingly or whatever.
We could
and then you start walking up some steps, and you're like,
what'd be cool to do for the tour is we start early and we do like a regimen with everyone where we're like, jog day.
Oh,
and we're all like, leading up to the tour. Everybody's on Telegram, on Telegram or whatever. Are you jog? Is you jog? And we're just like
you need
keeping
to
track of like do a workout regimen with everyone.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
You definitely need to do some cardio. We were all, Matt and I both have these watches that keep track of your heart rate and your blood oxygen level and everything. And the first couple of days, my watch was like, "Bro, you're gonna die." And Matt's watch, he was like, "Stop! What? Your heart rate's way too high." But eventually, it calmed down. But even, dude, you'd be sleeping at night. You're sleeping, and you wake up, and you're like, right? Because you're not naturally breathing enough while you're sleeping. Your body's just doing this slow, deep breaths, and it like wakes you up because you're like starved for oxygen. You wake up in the middle of the night like. They actually have in all the hotels, they will bring you an oxygen bottle if you request it.
Yeah,
because they're used to tourists like
damn straight, bro.
Not having enough.
Just...
You're like, yeah, I know. Exactly.
Yes. I'll be ordering oxygen bottles.
How long have we been going?
Hour and 43 minutes.
Okay.
We got another one, $10 from Bart. Says, I always wanted to see these sites in person. What is one aspect of seeing these in person that doesn't translate through video? Thanks for all the content. That's a good question.
What is one aspect of seeing these sites in person that doesn't translate through video?
Well, I know you already said that the scale.
Yeah, there's kind of a presence, just like with any architecture. It has its own character. And when you're walking around, like especially like the Silastani with the Chulpa towers, you're looking up at those towers, and you're just like, okay, this is really strange. And
show us
like,
the Chulpa tower.
Almost, it's eerie how weird it is.
Oh, we're skipping this.
That's okay. That's all right.
There were some really good long nubs in that last folder.
Yeah, there were.
But we got to go in like 15 minutes. So
we're going to be doing more of this. I'm going to get Ben on with Matt, with Professor Shy.
Nah.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Kyle doesn't ever want to have Professor Shy back on ever. So yeah, these towers. Here's a good photo of. Let's see.
No, I love Professor Shy.
Now somebody's come along and tried to do some repairs. Modern.
Share it.
Oh right, I forgot. Let's see. All right, get ready for share Inception.
I thought there was a way on Riverside to stick the share. It stays sharing, but you just kind of push it out of the. You don't actually have to stop the share.
So all through this place,
I forgot how.
Were these towers, and some of them were megalithic like this, and you can see that it's porous. Sorry for the glare. We were there right at sundown. Difficult to keep the sun out of but you can see that it's porous stone, like some kind of volcanic, not pumice, but something like it, full of holes. And there's nubs on some of the, like this one had nubs starting on level 3 and going up all the way around. So it's like it's not complete, right?
Wait, were they digging out? Were they excavating around it, or what? What is that? Or is it
no?
cut
It's
down
on the
into...
bedrock. Yeah, it's on the bedrock.
It's sitting on the bedrock.
Yeah,
it kind of looks like
in some places
the shadow makes it look like it's going down in.
Yeah. In some places there were just remnants. Let's see, right here, you can see remnants of a megalithic base of a tower.
Wow.
These stones standing. All these chipped stones standing here. This is not original. Somebody put this here later. This is beautifully cut, megalithic, a megalithic foundation for a tower. Right?
Those curbs.
Yeah,
it's perfect. My God.
And we found something interesting that there's a sort of
like a double curb.
There's sort of an entry portal. Let's see. Okay, so right here.
Oh, like steps.
Steps up, and then there's a foundation stone, and then there's one with what there used to be something here. It's broken off. And then there's another blank foundation stone, and then another one where there's something there that's been broken off. And then all to the same to the right, one broken off here, like a blank one, broken off, blank, broken off. And I took a picture from the side here. You can see that whatever was here was meant to be separate from the wall of the actual tower itself. It was very strange.
Wow.
So yeah, when you're looking at these towers, let's see, where's like look at this one for example. Now it's been filled. Their equivalent of their Department of Antiquities has attempted to. They're trying to protect these things from falling apart. So they're filling them with cobbles and mortar to sort of hold it together. But look at how every original megalithic block on here has actually got a hollow on the inner.
Whoa.
And then there's blocks strewn all around this thing.
So you mean they're joined flat on the outside, but there's a hollow cut between them?
Yes. All the blocks laying down have the hollows.
No way.
Everywhere. Look at that.
Do you think they had
I don't know if there's some kind of glue in there. Look at this. All over the place, you could see evidence of this hollow.
That's where the Peruvian gap fat goes. Right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, you could mix up something that would harden.
Yeah.
And that would just help keep the stones from shifting apart from each other. But
yeah,
clearly it's whatever it is.
Or it has something to do with the function of that particular tower, because I don't think the other towers had any signs of hollow blocks like that. Really weird. Really strange.
That is strange. Well, whatever it is, it disintegrates in the open air.
It's gone. Yeah, it's completely gone. Yeah. But look again at the landscape. And like there's just massive megalithic cut blocks lying all over the ground everywhere here. Like something.
Is this a boulder field?
Horribly no. This is a field of blocks.
It's construction. It's a construction laydown yard.
Yeah. See?
Wow.
Just blocks everywhere. And towers that have the towers look like they blew up and threw blocks all over the landscape.
What?
And on this side is like the remnants. There's this like swampy area, not quite a lake, but to the other side is like the lake.
Everyone said it was daft to build a chulpa in the swamp.
Yeah. That's the big lake out here. So these towers.
Look at the terracing.
That's the other thing. Like God, the ancient terraces are everywhere, and they go, it's like starts out on the curve and just like goes up and up and up and up, and you're just like, who is farming? Yeah. Who were they feeding?
Yeah.
The population of Peru
The
now is
millions that they're
supposedly
feeding.
larger than it's ever been in all of history, and they don't use all of these ancient terraces. They use some, but there's so many of them all over the place that are unused.
And why would they have these towers like so close to each other? They're obviously not communication towers.
No. And this is the only place with these towers. Well, there's one other site that has a couple, but
Are those
It's
things
not
in
like
the
the-
distance out there towers or trees?
no, they're trees.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is the spot where the towers are. And there's one other place where some we didn't go visit it, but there's one other place with some towers.
And then it's got the ridge around the top.
Yeah.
So did you find the puma carved on the side?
It was in the shadow. It was really hard to see. But yeah, this thing is just
Wow.
It's just amazing.
Well, you got to build one.
Yeah.
And we can test out the grinding theory.
So look at that, at the shape of it. And then you go to we'll go to Bolivia, to the Tiwanaku Museum, and we'll have a look at this old Viracocha statue. This massive, this thing is enormous. But look at this.
It's one piece. Yeah.
Is he holding a Chulpa tower? I don't know. It's similar.
Looks like the tower.
Rogelio said it was like a cup. And that's why he was saying that the Chulpa towers represent the cup of the gods, because it looks similar to this thing that Viracocha is shown holding in Bolivia. And this thing might be a doll or a condor. Nobody really knows.
So he has one hand is like holding this way, and the other one is holding this way, because the fingers go the same direction.
Yeah, that is weird. It's like one is holding it like
Yeah, one's holding like this.
Yeah.
And the other one he's
holding like this. Yes. Yes, he's doing this kind of weird thing. Yeah.
So his fingers both go the same direction.
Yeah.
That is strange. Maybe he's
That gives you
dumping
this-
one out.
That gives you the scale.
That would be it.
If
If
one's
it was-
upside down.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
have two and you dump one out.
Yeah. He's like double fisting. He's pouring it out for the homies. It's like, bro, got 2 beers.
Yeah.
This one sucks. But yeah, that gives you the scale. We walked in and found this thing. We're like, oh my God, this thing is enormous. Beautiful, beautiful statue. And on the back, he has the typical depiction of.
Now this looks a lot more like the Mesoamerican, like
Yeah.
the big square guys that they Luke was saying that was possibly standing up on top of the pyramids. you know?
Yeah. It does look very Mesoamerican.
It's crazy.
Very Sun Gate like.
Yeah.
Very decorated.
And he's got the birds on it on his chest too.
Yeah. When you go around to the back, you see right here.
Yeah,
The
there he
Sungate-
is. There he
the
is.
Sungate Viracocha holding the 2 staffs, right? Standing on the snakes
Yeah.
or in the boat.
And then are those 2 suns up above on the shoulders?
Could be. No one really is sure. There were some photos. They had these in the museum, these
Wow.
depictions of what,
Wait, how does his
that's the back. So this is the front.
how is his thumb on top on that other hand?
I don't know. But it's very complicated.
Wait a minute. He's got 5 fingers on the same side of so the thumb is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So this is a 6-fingered hand. And this one is a 5-fingered hand.
what? Oh no, he might be doing this.
Yeah, he could be.
He's holding that one against his chest.
Yeah.
But the way the hand is on the other side, you can't have
Can't
the
actually
thumb
do that. Yeah. It's somebody else's hand.
Yeah, that would be somebody else's hand.
Yeah.
Oh. What? Yeah. Yeah, it can't be.
Yeah.
It has to be a hand doing an open face like this.
Yeah. It's weird.
So you could have it up against the chest like this.
So this is the back that's showing the Sungate Of course, he's not holding staffs like he is on the Sun Gate, but this is the Viracocha god, the standard picture of him.
Man.
Yeah.
Look at his hair. He's got braids, dude.
Or it's like supposed to be the rays of the sun.
He's got cornrows.
Yeah. All kinds of stuff going on the side.
Yeah, there's a bird looking up to the sky.
Yeah. The other side. And then this thing. What is that? That's really weird. Let's see. Do I have a picture of the Sun Gate? I probably do. I can show you the... where is it? Yeah, here we go. This is the back of it. So this is the part that was exposed. And then here he is. No, it's not going to let me zoom. Come on.
Did you get to walk through it? No.
No, it's roped off.
Not allowed to do magic anymore.
See? So he's
He
like...
looks so sad.
He's holding the snakes, I think, the staffs. He's standing on his pedestal, and he's attended by all these Apkalu.
Mm-hmm.
Viracocha and his Viracochas. No, I'm kind of bouncing all over the place now. My original point was before we end the show, I wanted to show you guys some of the quarry stuff, but maybe we'll have to get to it some other time.
We should just do another one of these like in a few days.
Yeah. Yeah, we could. So Sun Temple, let's go back here real quick. Many of you have probably seen these. This is just awesome, like how cleanly they put this gigantic blocks, but these are huge square ashlars. Is this a nub? This is some kind of precision nub.
Either that or it holds a floor.
Yeah.
Like you could set wooden beams up against it or floor planks.
Yeah. But it's clear that this site was just never completed, right? It's not even close to being finished.
That is cool.
I snuck around back here and got busted. Yep. I'm behind the ropes.
Oh, somebody yelling at you?
Yeah, somebody started blowing the whistle at me. Yeah.
Why don't they want you going back there and looking at that?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, there's just some really gorgeous retaining wall.
Hey.
And then it's built into the natural mountain, right? See this?
Oh yeah.
Like, see how they just fit it to the natural, Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Go back.
To what?
That one. On top there on the block on the right. Is that a groove underneath where it was like keystoned in?
Oh yeah, some of them did have this. Yeah, they were keyed in. And then like, again, look at the nubs are very precise, like almost, rather than being sort of amorphous, these were shaped nubs.
Yep,
like
they were
this.
shaped by
Look at that.
by an artisan who respected the nubs.
Yeah. I mean, can you even call these nubs? If these are huge. I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know. I wonder if those were like...
Or look at it. There's just blocks
Oh my God.
laying everywhere. Like somebody was trying to fix it, repair it, because it's sitting on top of like this stuff. Were they trying to move them around? But some of these are embedded in the material. I don't know. I don't know what was going on here. It's very strange. Yeah. Really weird sight. And then around the back of it, of course, is a whole bunch of more Hanan Pacha, like this very ancient rock cut features.
Mm-hmm.
Just sticking out of the ground. So that's okay. I'm looking up at the site. So it's got the standard Inca terracing, beautiful terraces going up. You have to climb up all this crap. And then up at the very top are the big megalithic ones. But you can see how the first few levels of terrace walls are actually the really high quality megaliths. And then down below that, it's cobblestones. And then up at the very top is really massive megaliths. But there's terraces all the way out to the edge here. You see this?
Yeah.
And then there's whole another set going up the mountain here. And when you walk this way,
it looks like there was a collapse actually in the middle of that whole
yeah,
cliff. or hill. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, so when you go this way to the right, there's another set of terraces, a whole other set, and then around the back of the mountain is a whole other set of Hanan Pacha. Yeah, look at that curving stairway,
God.
whole set of terraces there.
That is wild.
And then and then there's this thing. That it's just, it's just a busted piece of mountain rock. And why? And you can see that it's been here for a long time. Though that terrace wall just goes right into it.
It looks like
somebody
it's all
built
cut
around.
into
Yes,
that, yeah.
yes. The front face is carved, but you can see there that whoever was building the terraces,
Yeah.
was just working around that thing.
Amazing.
Yeah. So around behind that,
I think we're gonna have to do another show.
This stuff. Yeah, I know we need to stop. More Hanan Pacha, just cut right into the mountain, nubs in it. So those clearly aren't lifting. They're also not for stone softening or vibrating anything.
Nope. But if you were cutting stones out of it, then you could create nubs by leaving a connecting piece from the stone you're cutting out and the wall.
Yeah.
And then once you get it basically cleaned off, then you chop the nubs in half and you get the stone out. And it has nubs, and there's some nubs on the wall.
Left on the wall, yeah. I see what you mean.
I mean, how else would you make the nubs, right? You'd have to be making the cut, and then you'd have to leave some stone.
Yeah.
And if you try, it was like you're only going to leave it on one side.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know.
you can see it's like all around the back side of this area, there's this random complicatedly cut blocks. There's random squares cut out of the mountain.
Great.
And somebody went to the trouble. Look at these terracing. I mean, somebody's
That's
holding the mountain
insane.
back from falling down into this obviously revered site down here. But somebody cut this whole section out here. There's weird portals and holes in the wall. Like, this is a beautifully cut piece of stone right here. And it's fit into this.
Wow.
And it's just random.
So cool. It looks like a face. Like eyes looking out of the mountain.
There's more flat faces up there. You see them?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody came and sheared this off, cut it flat. We weren't able to. And there's one here. There's some
They're
steps.
quarrying off of the
There's
side of that mountain.
Yeah, but it's this shit rock, right? It's full of fractures and holes. And I mean, I don't know. Like, you really want to quarry, you want to cut deep. And there's some evidence that whoever was doing this knew that. Like that, I think that they were actually shaping here. This is not quarrying, but shaping.
Mm.
They just didn't finish, just like most of the Hanan Pacha. But then look, all around is beautiful cut blocks of andesite. Sharp corners and cubes and strange portals, and none of it's just strewn everywhere. Like, it looks like the Inca found this already in ruins and kind of tried to put it back together, and then they sort of tried to revere it. But it also looks like the people who were doing that megalithic work had found the older Hanan Pacha stuff and tried to revere it, right? So you have this original rock cut stuff, and somebody was like, oh my god, this is from the ancients, right? And they come to this beautiful megalithic rock work around it and make a site out of it. And then thousands of years go by, and the Inca come along and they're like, oh my god, this is the work of the ancients. And they do the same thing with their style. That's really what the impression you get. And that may have happened more than 3 times. I don't know. But yeah, like, look at that. Just really cool. And it doesn't go anywhere. It's,
That's
and again, you get the idea that there was some kind of function to these walls, but most of the pieces are gone.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn it. That's so awesome. What a beautiful waterfall. And that's
Yeah, it's part of the irrigation. There was like irrigation like this everywhere. Yeah.
that's so awesome.
Yeah. It just runs forever. Just like somewhere hundreds of, maybe, I don't know, like miles away is coming from a glacier,
Yeah.
off of the top of a mountain. And you could see, like Rogelio would point it out, like, look at this mountainside, way off in the distance, there's a mountain. And you could see this thin, straight line. And he's like, that is a channel bringing water from somewhere way over there. And it's just straight across. They've cut it into the rock or put little blocks in and just, there's a little stream just.
That's amazing.
And it delivers it to a whole set of terraced, farms or whatever. Yeah, it's really amazing to think about. And how old is some of that? So, okay, so there's some tired stone pictures here. Just a few.
All right, we got Edfu, another $5 says, man, these Incas accomplished a lot in 150 odd years. That would indicate higher knowledge or potentially be attributed work that might not be theirs.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. So it was only 150 years, roughly.
Yeah, they weren't around very long. So here we were hiking up to the quarry site. We're on the other side of the valley from Ollantaytambo, hiking miles and miles up into the mountains, and you can see these rock falls. This is kind of what we're aiming at. This is massive boulders sliding down the side of the mountain. This was a tough day, but it was a lot of fun. But all along the pathway, we were finding these beautiful cut, but heavily eroded rose granite blocks that were clearly intended for the Sun Temple area, which was made out of the same stone, this red granite, right? But it's just left on the side of the trail here. And this rock here is very different from the rest of the boulders and other things that are just kind of laying around that are natural on the mountainside. This is high quality, deep cut, quarried stone.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have surface fractures, right? Somebody didn't find this on the surface and shape it. They cut it from some, from deeper within the mountain. There's this side of it. You can see it's high quality.
Mm-hmm.
There's Matt standing on one. And you look at the old terracing out here.
Yeah.
It's like out here. It's everywhere. These old farms. It's not terraces quite. It's like farm fields just on the sides of the mountain.
Wow.
So yeah, this is a cut piece of stone. Here's one. This is like surface natural. This is natural rockfall here, right? But then this is this high quality piece of stone right here. And it's cut, laying on the side of the hill. Let's see if I show how high we are. Yeah, so we're way above. That's Cusco down there, right?
So they had to take the stones from where you are all the way down to that valley,
yeah,
and then back up the other side.
Actually, that's not even Cusco. We can't see Cusco anymore. But look, I'm standing on an artificial wall. So somebody actually built a wall to sort of hold back all this stuff. I don't know. They've made an artificial platform to stage blocks.
So a lot of these blocks are cut?
No, that one's cut. And then so it's hard to tell. This is a cut stone that was intended to go probably to the site. But somewhere, maybe this is the actual quarry way up there. We didn't get up there. Way up there. This is cut out of the mountain. There was another hole over here somewhere, we were thinking. And Rogelio said maybe he would hike up there and actually look, but we were so exhausted by the time we got. We were just like, bruh. So I'm zooming in here. I'm like, maybe this is one. But yeah, somewhere way up the mountain they were cutting. So yeah, we're way above the valley down there.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Let's see. Do I show the... let's see. Okay, yeah. So see, way up there's another cut block.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be one too. I mean, this is, this is really far away from us. But it's either coming from over here or up this hill and back in this area somewhere. But this is the source of the stone, this part of the mountain. This part we're on is still covered in soil. So it was really cool to go up there and see all this, but it was very difficult, a very difficult hike too. This is another cut block. I stood on top of it. Try to show you the scale. It's hard. Difficult to show the scale of it. It was a really massive. It wouldn't have fit in the studio here. It was a huge block. Yeah. And the quality of it is just, I don't know, it's, to me, it's obviously different than that stuff lying around on the side of the mountain, right? It's just high quality stone. Let's see if I can show you the wall. Yeah, so I'm looking at the corner of the wall. See, this is the platform that we were standing on.
Yeah.
And here's another one. And here's another one.
These are like roads or...
Well,
just
the
that
one
looks like scree between those two.
It's yeah.
But
this is look. Oh, come on. What is wrong with this? Okay. Look. Somebody made a wall out of this scree for some reason.
Yeah.
There's two sets of walls there. Well, it may have just collapsed. So something may have fallen down and broken through it here.
Yeah.
But there's a wall there. This is the wall that all those pictures and video I was just showing you were from. This one right here we're standing on top of, and that block is up in here somewhere.
Yeah.
But there's more blocks strewn on the mountainside up behind me here in this picture. But yeah, we came through here and then we went up, right? And got to this one, and there's another one up higher. And yeah, if you look, you can see.
Damn, that is just insane.
Yeah. Everywhere we went, I'm like, look at the mountain. I'm like, somebody was farming up there,
It's just
everywhere.
Insane.
Yeah.
I can't get past that.
Yeah.
The terracing is just...
So this is the corner of that platform. So it's like somebody built this to make a flat place on the mountain to do some work. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is Ben is standing on a really huge cut block that has scoops in it. See the scoops? Right here. Bam, 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 like scoop marks cut out. And then there's some big blocks on the mountainsides up there. But this is as high as we got, this spot.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's see. I will show. I'm trying to get a picture of the scoop, but the sunlight wasn't good for this block. But there we're standing on top of it. It was a really large block. I guess I didn't get a good photo of it. Oh, terrible. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, Rogelio is showing us like.
Look at his hat.
Oh
That's
yeah, he's
pretty
got a proper native hat there.
That's
His dad
cool.
made it for him out of probably like
Leather?
leather or something.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So those are scoops, huh? They don't look like it to me, but I can't
they are.
tell.
Yeah,
And can't see the contrast really.
yeah. I'm almost positive they're scoops. Yeah.
Pumpers.
Yep. Nub.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you can see it's been here a long time. It's covered in lichen.
Mm-hmm.
Moss is growing off of it.
And this is andesite? Or
This is rose granite.
Rose granite.
Yeah.
You can't even tell. It's like
Yeah.
in the photo. I mean, maybe you can tell when you're there.
Yeah,
but-
so I have a picture of one. You see it here? See that?
yeah.
So I have a picture of a piece of it not from that block, but a piece that's broken, or I guess I'm taking a video. It's been broken fresh. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah.
Oh, it would have been beautiful.
Yep.
Polished up.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we can wrap it up. Yeah. So there's going to be a tour. It's going to be awesome. Obviously we'll give you guys more details when that comes up, but we're working on it and, should be announcing it soon, I hope. So I have a whole bunch more to show, but, I want to get Ben and Matt on, Ben and the professor, and do it again, because they also have a whole bunch of video taken from different perspectives, and just to get them on and, you know, discuss it would be great. So it'll be awesome.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it was a fantastic trip. I didn't even get into, like, we went to multiple sites, you know, the weird spirals in the ground. We saw salt mines. We talked about ancient, like the old terracing. We went to some what Rogelio called Inca Imperial Gardens, Tipon, way up in the mountains with water features, you know, coming down and like channels going on, still working, still functioning with water going everywhere. So we'll discuss all that, and I could do more episodes on this because there's so much to show.
How long were you there? Like 10 days?
10 days.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah, it's
I guess I need to end the
fantastic.
Share. Yeah.
One last donation here. David Stig Hansen, $2.
Oh, it's the work of giants.
Ancient megalithic mining. Yep.
You know, we talked to Rogelio about that, and he's all in on the giants, and he actually said that that there may be some that people have reported giant bones, human bones being found in the mountains and stuff in Peru before. So we're just like, dude,
long heads and
get to
giants,
the bottom
dude.
of this. Yeah.
Oh,
did we get beer shipments 3 and 4? Did we get beer shipment 2?
no.
Wait a minute. Somebody better check the whole
Okay. We got to check the
yeah,
PO
we gotta
box.
check the PO box. Yeah.
That's not my job.
It's not my job
And
either.
it's
I'm
not
sorry.
his job. We're not going to say
But
whose
we will
job it
make
is.
sure that the person whose job it is
My
does the job.
gosh. Yeah, we definitely need to check that. Granted, we have been extremely busy.
Yeah.
But I'm excited now that you've said that. So thank you, Scott. $5 also donation. Appreciate all of you out there. Hope you enjoyed that. I did. That was great.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to
It was
more
a lot
on
of fun. Yeah.
more of these fresh perspectives.
All right.
So appreciate all of y'all. We love you.
We always have.
Always will.
Good night, Adambu.
Get back to work, and I forgot to do my outro stuff before I just.
That was the end of the show. Goodbye. Leave.
Yeah.
Leave now.
Done.
Kyle doesn't know how to stop the stream.
Yeah, that's true. I'll figure it out.
There's a big stop button right there. Oh,
Does it really start it? Does it really start it though?
I don't know.
All right. But let's do it proper. We got to do it
Okay.
proper. And we'll just play this one. I can't find that other song.
Here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.